Okay, so the recording is live. So in this video, I'll be showing you how to model the this Ergo chair from the images that I have downloaded from the net. And since these images, when I right mouse click on it, I've checked that the image is already 900 by 900, so it's already square. So if I project it onto a plane in Maya, it should not be distorted. I already set my project to my project folder. Okay, so now I can create a new plane. Shift right mouse click, create plane. Okay, again, I don't want to use so many subdivisions. Go to channel box, select the divisions and reduce it to 1. I'm going to scale this up. Then assign it with a surface shader, assign new material. Click on surface shader. Then click on file. Then go to chair reference. Then apply this image. Okay, so I'll just be using this image as my reference. Press number 6 so that I can see what is the image, what it looks like. So I'm going to just put this further aside behind. You can make it a little bit bigger, it's fine. But at least you have an image reference that we can see all the time. Okay, so I'm going to maximize my screen by pressing Ctrl Spacebar. And I will start by, usually I'll start with doing the base first, this star shape that form the wheel. So I have to count how many sides there are for this particular chair. Okay, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I think 7, 8. Okay, so it's a octagon, I think. How many legs are there? I think. Let me just zoom out and see. I have to go and look at my other reference. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's something that is divisible by 5. So I need to create a 10-sided cylinder. So I can pull out from every alternate face, right, a leg. So I'll create a 10-sided cylinder just to create the base of the leg first. So let's go and shift right mouse click, create a cylinder. Then in the channel box, reduce the number of subdivision axis to 10. Alright, so that if we select any of these alternate faces, right, we should be able to pull out the legs very quickly. Okay, I think I did not select alternate properly. This one I should be selecting this face. Holding down the shift, I'm holding down the wrong key. Like this, yes. So in a sense, right, you can select these 5 legs, and when you extrude the faces, right, we have the base pulled out from the bottom like that. Okay, so if you want to create something that is very rough, very quickly like this, that is fine. But if you want to refine this even further, like you can see that the edge here is rounded, right? So we're going to use the duplicate special method, right, to create this instead. So we're going to go to the top view, right? We are just going to remove remove all the faces or remove all the extra legs that we don't need, because we are just going to concentrate on one face and then using duplicate special to reconstruct the chair again. So let's see from here. I'm going to delete this until we are ending up with a shape like this. So this is just one part of the chair's leg. Then from the top view, right, you want to use object mode to select this. Now we know the center of the pivot is here. We use duplicate special, and we're going to create an instance. We're going to create how many more? 4 more copies of the original. And if this one you have to require some calculation. So I'm going to pull out my calculator, which is on my phone. I'm going to divide 360 with 5. 360 divided by 5 is how much? 72 degrees. So I need to rotate around the y axis. So x, y. So type the number 72. And we need to create 4 instances, and then we can now duplicate special. Alright, I think it didn't duplicate because, what did I do wrong? I have to reset my duplicate special first. Let me just reset this. We're going to create an instance. We're going to create 4 copies. We want to rotate along. Okay, I think I enter in scale rather than rotate just now. So it should be 72 degrees. Then duplicate special. And then we get this shape here. Now the master object is here. So right now, whenever we edit the master, right, select this face here and edit, the instances will follow along. So we don't have to do so much extra work by doing all of them one by one. So we already know that the edge here is rounded. So we're going to apply a chamfer or a bevel around these edges here. So I'm going to select this edge and this edge. Shift right mouse click and bevel. Give it a couple of segments, not too many. Then we have the rounded segments. Then we're going to adjust the fraction, right, so that it appears rounder like that. So you can see the rest of the feet, right, are following along just fine. I'm going to turn on Alt 5, press Alt 5 to create the look. And I'm going to select the top edge here, right. Select this edge. I can double click, shift double click to select the edge loop. Okay, for some reason, right, I can only select the edge one by one. Okay, I want to see whether I got accidentally pulled out extra edges. No, okay. Well, actually, there's another shortcut, okay? I forgot to do this. You can choose the face on top, then apply a bevel, shift right mouse click, and then do another bevel. And we can give it maybe 2 segments and reduce the fraction. Okay, and then take note of the topology. Remember, we want to keep everything 4-sided here. So we can go to vertex mode, select these two here, then connect them. Then maybe these two also connect. And we should maybe put an edge loop around here. Cut a middle cut edge loop here. Then I can now okay, maybe I shouldn't have added so much edge loops around here. So okay, I'll need 2 edge loops here to make everything 4-sided. Let me undo. Holding on Control and then click 1 edge loop here and 1 edge loop here. Press Q to select these two, then connect. Then press G again, repeat last command. Now, because this is a multi-sided face, right, the edge loops will not run across. So we have to figure out a way, right, to reflow the edge loops. Okay, so select this group of vertices, press F. F will focus the vertices on top of here. So I'm going to go to select these 2 vertices and connect them. And then we're going to see how we can make this into 4-sided faces. So I'm going to use my multi-cut tool again. Just going to cut from here to here. Okay, and then finish the cut. Okay, then start from here to here, then finish the cut. Okay, so I'll end up with a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-sided face. So how do I make this in 4-sided? So this one is a bit tricky. I'm going to leave this as it is for now. Okay, this is a 3-sided face here. Maybe I will cut one across here like that. And dissolve away this edge here. Control delete to dissolve the edge. Control delete. Okay, the bottom, right, I'm going to leave it empty. In fact, I'm just going to delete away the bottom faces. Because for most of the chair, right, the bottom part is hollow. There's actually a thickness to it. So this will make it a bit easier for me to connect it later. Alright, and then right now, if I were to subdivide this, only this part here will look a bit weird. If I press number 3, okay, you can see that everything is kind of working. Okay, and it's nice and rounded looking, like that, you see? Even when subdivided. So if you want your model to look good, make sure you do the reflow to make sure everything is 4-sided. Okay, right now I'm looking at here. Let's see, I can cut. I use the multi-cut tool again. Cut from here to here. So I create four-sided faces, and then maybe from here to here. Okay, just do a rough one first. Cut in the center. Should I cut in the center? No. If I cut in the center, I'll create a five-sided face here. No. So I will just leave it as it is. We'll come and fix this area later. Okay, so now I have the leg base here. I think the Ergo 2.1 is much thinner at the bottom here. So I'll grab the bottom vertices here and then press W and then bring it up so it matches the reference. Okay, next is the wheels. So we can create the wheels and then we just need to create one set, and then after that we just can manually duplicate it. So this one is the base. Okay, we'll leave it as the default name first. We're going to rename that later. No, for the wheel is quite straightforward. We're going to use a cylinder, and I think I'm going to use okay, actually 20 should be sufficient, because from the distance, right, and when you scale it down to look like a wheel, it will not look too different, right, from the actual wheel. It will not detect the segmentation, so because it is so small. Alright, so right now let's do a quick study of the wheel. The wheels looks like it is sticking out slightly with a central hub in the center. So we don't have to create a real functional wheel. We can just fake this very quickly. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to create soften the edge of the wheel by double clicking to select the rim and then applying a bevel. Give it a number of segments, maybe 3 segments, then adjust the fraction. Then on this side here, I'm not going to apply any bevel, but what I'm going to do is select this wheel in object mode, right? Move it to the other side of this axis, which is the opposite side of the x-axis. Then go and apply a mirror, mesh, and then mirror it. We're going to mirror it in the x-axis and hit mirror. Okay, let's see. Okay, so apparently, right, when you mirror the x-axis, it has to be a positive direction. Let me change this to positive. Yeah. Because I put it in the negative side, that's why I don't see it. Alright, then position offset, I can adjust it so that it can be closer. Like this. So now I have a set of wheels, but now I want to create the center portion here. Now, what I can do is I'll join these two parts, these two wheels together. Actually, they are already joined together, so that's good. I'll go to edit mode and go and select the central faces of both sides. Okay, again, if you remember your selection conversion, if you select the vertices and if you want to select the faces of both sides, you just need to select these 2 point faces. Holding down the control, right mouse click over the selected faces to faces, and the faces will be selected. Okay, then we're going to extrude. Control E to extrude. Then use the offset to offset it inwards like that, slightly. Okay, and then I believe we should be able to bridge both faces together. Let's try bridging them together. Okay, it doesn't want to bridge. Okay, that's fine. I'm going to delete them. Delete away the faces, so now there's a hole over there. Doesn't matter because we're going to bridge the edge. Double click, shift double click. So now 2 opposing edges are selected. Shift right mouse click and then bridge. Okay, you can see that it's twisted very badly, so we're just going to adjust the twist until it corresponds to our what we want. Okay, right now it's too sensitive. Let me see whether I can fix this. Okay, so if this doesn't work, okay, we will join the 2 together. Give me a second. Okay, another way is I'm going to select these group of faces. Oops, select this loop. Then shift full stop to increase selection until we select both sides like that. Then we're going to rotate along the x-axis. So RX, sorry, not RX, W, and then rotate until the edges are lined up. Okay, that is that's one way to rotate. Wait, I think I accidentally extruded that. Okay, that's not what I want. Okay, so there's one way for me to fix my wheel. So now I got this central wheel hub. Let me take a look at the picture again. It seems that this center portion here is expanded outwards. Right, so I'm going to scale it up non-uniformly along the YZ plane. So use scale, holding down the control, and then I'm going to scale it up slightly like that. I can also do another extrude. This is just a small detail. I just want to create a small gap so that it looks a little bit more realistic. Then Control E again to extrude again. Then just push this out a little. I just want to create a tiny little gap here. Now, if you press number 3 on this, right, it will still look fairly okay. Alright, it will still look like a wheel. Okay, but now you can see the center portion is a little bit too thick already. I want it to be thinner a bit. So select the face from one ring first, and then shift double click. Select this face, and you want to select this look like that. Move to the second face, hold down shift, double click. Use shift full stop to increase selection. Okay, and then let me go back to level 1. And then I just need to extrude it out a bit more, or rather scale it out a little bit more, non-uniformly. So use the non-uniform scale to scale it up slightly. Okay, so right now I see an issue. My wheels, right, are a little bit too fat compared to this one. In fact, overall the wheels are too fat. So I will select all the vertices and scale them inwards until they look proportionally equivalent to the reference. Okay, I think that looks good enough for me. Okay, right now you can see there's a segmented look here. So I'm going to select the faces, go to this mesh display, and then use this soften harden edge, and it should automatically harden areas which need to be hardened and soften areas which need to be softened. Okay, basically it's like smart, smooth. Okay, now that I got this, I need to create a cylinder to stick out. You can see that there's a cylinder that sticks out to join to the bottom of the foot. And then I notice another thick cylindrical section above that area. So for this one, right, I'm just going to be lazy. I'm just going to create another cylinder. But I don't need this cylinder to be so many axes, or rather so many sections. I'm going to reduce it down to maybe 10. And create the cylinder. Wait, I think I created 2 more cylinders. Let me just get rid of this one. 10-sided cylinder will do. And smooth it near the wheel. Scale this down. And we're just going to position it so that it sticks out at one side of the wheel. Okay, so for this one, we just need to eyeball this. Okay, so this one, the diameter needs to be thinner a little bit. Okay, right about there. Okay, then if I look at the image reference, there's another like a thicker portion right above. So just gonna push this up a bit more until it seems to be coming off from the wheel. Then I'm going to insert one edge loop here. Then go to select the face loop here. Shift double click, then extrude. And then just push it out like that. Alright, then we can now for the top part here, nobody's going to see the top faces, right? So select the central vertex, holding down the control to faces to faces. Shift full stop to increase selection. And we're going to delete away the face. So I'm going to parent this wheel to this object here. Press P. So this is the parent now. So go to the right view. I'm going to select this wheel and then just going to plug it in the center. Now notice my group of vertices over this chair base, right, is not flat. So Okay, I'm just going to put this up, these group of vertices, just bring them up just slightly. Then this group of vertices here, use scale to flatten them. So right now they are completely flat. Now select the object here and then just paste it up here. Okay, if you feel that the wheel is too tall, so I feel it's too tall actually, so I'm going to grab these vertices and then just put it closer like that. And just stick it up like that. And maybe I'll leave the parenting later, but we got one set of wheels. And we're going to change the pivot of this wheel. Actually, we don't have to because it's already parented to the parent, so we can actually rotate it. It should look fine. So we got that wheel done. We're going to duplicate it later on. Okay, I just realized, right, we don't need the central triangular face. We can delete this. Okay, we are going to be joining all of these pieces together. Okay, let me save. Okay, I have not saved yet. So this is a very bad thing. So I'm going to call this office chair. _01, then save. Right, go to object mode, select all these pieces here. Okay, delete history. I don't think I need to freeze transformation. I just want to join everything together, so mesh combine first. So the center right now, you notice, has shifted to the object's original center. Well, so this is not correct, so we need to go to the top view, right, and fix it by clicking on this center pivot. Okay, it's still not centering the pivot correctly. We want the pivot, right, to be situated at the origin center here. So to do that, you can press D, then holding down the X, right, we can snap it to the center. Okay, this is very important, otherwise, right, we will not be able to manipulate this properly. Alright, so now comes the patching part. Right now, all these pieces are part of the same object. We can actually start to bridge them together. Like for example, this opposite edges like that. We can use bridge to connect. Okay, go to the other side, then we're going to repeat the same thing again. Click, double click, then shift right mouse click, and then bridge. Click on this edge, shift, double click, click on this edge, shift, double click, shift right mouse click, bridge. Okay, repeating this, click on this edge, shift, double click, click on this edge, shift, double click, shift, holding down the shift, right mouse click, and then bridge. You can see how quickly I'm just joining these together. Shift, right mouse click, and then bridge the hole. Right, now the center hole, right, we can easily fix this. You can see that the shape doesn't look very nice. We can just double click on the edge loop here, then use circularize. Okay, sorry, this one is not circularized. This one is merged to center. Let me undo that. Circularize is this tool here, or you can shift right mouse click in the edge mode. We need to build image. Okay, circularize, where are you? It's not here. I think it works mostly on faces, but I think it should work on edge. Let me undo that. Let's try that. Yeah, see, now it rearranged everything in a nice circle. So we are done with that. And we can select this loop and scale it down slightly, because later we are just going to, well, we can put a, we can extrude the this hydraulic tube out, but I think to make it more realistic, right, I'm just going to stick a cylinder through here. All right. If I press number 3, you can see that now it is subdivided nicely. However, the in-between area here doesn't have the hard corners. So if you want to fix that, okay, we have to basically bevel this edge here, like these edges here. I'm now going to select all these edges here, and I'm going to bevel it, but that will involve some topple reflow later on. Okay, when I bevel, right, that means you will see two edges that will come out from it. I just need two edges, right, to make this corner much more. I'm now holding down the shift to add on to the selection. Okay, so now all the loops are selected. Okay, let me verify by looking at wireframe. Then I can apply a bevel. Shift right mouse click and bevel. And apply a small fraction. Okay, we have some issues here at the center, but we can easily clean them up. The bevel looks good over here, not much issue. Alright. Then if I subdivide this right now, the edges here is much nicer looking. See? Okay, not so nice around here because some topology issues here, but generally this works. Okay, I think that is because of the triangle here. Well, now we can fix the triangle by doing this. Middle cut, middle cut, middle cut, middle cut. Middle cut is just middle mouse button click. Alright. Now let's fix the center here. The center here is a big problem. You have a lot of multi-sided face here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use the knife tool to just roughly cut one circle over here. Well, actually there is a, I don't know whether projection works here. I don't know whether I can project a circle here. Okay, I'm not going to project a circle, but I'm just going to create a circle, a NURB circle, to act as my guide when I'm cutting. It's not going to be precise, but sometimes this is what I will do. Just create a circle and then scale it down until it overlaps the hole slightly, like this. You can scale it down a little bit more like that. Then after that, I will use my knife on the object here, knife tool, shift right mouse click. Oh, I don't want to do this. Yeah, use multi-cut tool, and then I'll start to cut my edge here. Just use the circle as a guide. You can cut through multiple curves like that. Okay, it's not going to be perfect because you already know what we're going to use to fix our faces later on. The circularize and then close this. Okay, I'm going to deliberately just cut in the wrong angle here. Okay, and then merge these two vertices together. Right, so now we have a continuous loop. Okay, now I can safely select all these faces. You can hold down the tab to paint over those faces that you don't need. Okay, this one I don't need this, I don't need this, and then delete them. Okay, this one is still hanging around. Delete, delete. I don't need the circle anymore. Okay, done its job. Okay, now I just need to select the open edge, double click, then use circularize tool again to rearrange everything into a circle. Perfect. Right, I got one face that's floating there, but let me just move this circle until it's right in the center. Okay, and then we don't need this face anymore. Right, so everything is nice and four-sided. We still have? Yeah, no, okay. Okay, let me just twist the circle a little bit because it looks a bit odd. Yeah, so I just want to turn this around. Okay, nice. So now I got a nice circle. Topology, everything four-sided. And let's go and proceed to the next stage. Okay, now we can save this. File save. I can increment and save. So you add another number next to my file, 001. Okay, now let's see what else. Let's go and move up to the next level, which is the supporting base. Now I will need to change the image reference, or you can duplicate this. And then since the images that I download are all square, right, I can go and assign a new image. Okay, you need to assign a new material, not just simply changing the image, otherwise both will show the same image. So I'll go to chair reference again and pick maybe this one. Yeah, this one. So I can see what does the bottom here looks like. So it looks like it's a white base that is carrying this area here, and we can see also the hydraulic, how much is extending up here. Okay, so hydraulic is very simple. It's just a cylinder. Okay, I think default, I want to give this cylinder a little bit more size because this one is a bit more prominent. Maybe give it about 24 and scale it until it fits the center portion here. Then you can move it up a little bit. So you take a look at it, it sticks up about somewhere around here. And there's like a cap, and then there is a, since there's a cap, I'm going to use a multi-cut tool to cut here. Then double click and bevel this. Reduce the fraction. And select this face. And extrude inwards. So extrude the face first, extrude the face, and then extrude it inwards to create this tiny little line that I see over here. Then for the hydraulic, I'm just going to use this, select the center face here. Now before I do that, I'm going to add one single edge bevel here, just a single edge bevel, just to get rid of the hard corner like that. Select the center vertex here, holding down Control to faces, right mouse click to faces. Extrude this group of faces and then offset it inwards. So this will be, I'm going to extrude my hydraulic post out from this. Okay, I'm going to extrude again, Control E, then offset it inward just a tiny bit. This is just to create a bevel so that there's a hard edge. If I press number 3, then Control E again and extrude out the hydraulic post. Now the hydraulic post, right, if you look at this picture, right, sticks up to the bottom because it is a tapered post. If you own any of these chairs, so I'm going to insert one edge loop right about here, then select the bottom faces, Control to vertices, no, to faces, so that I can bring this down and then maybe give it a little bit of taper, slightly. Then bevel the face by just one bevel. Alright, so my hydraulic post is done. This one should be quite straightforward and simple. And now we're going to create this shape over here. So this one is looking a little bit interesting. It has the tilting mechanism built in. Okay, I need to take a look at the image reference again. Just want to see how wide this thing is. Oh, okay. This one shows that it is only about, okay, it's got a twisting lever, or at least it looks like a twisting lever to me. And it is covered from the front. Okay, so that's enough information for me. So I know that it's going to be this shape. So let's go to the right view. And I'm going to use a cube. Just modify it into shape to match the object, right? So I'm going to borrow this image, right? And then, now my chair will not be exactly the same, but at least, right, I have the reference, right, that I can follow. Okay, so I know that it looks like this rounded, it's got a rounded corner like that. And it is about, it extends about 1/3, okay, 1/3 of the whole radius. Scale this up, so it's roughly, I got the right size here. Okay, and look at the front view. Now I know that this thing is quite narrow. I'm going to refer to my image reference again. Yeah, it's about 1/5 of the width. Okay, 1/5 the width, just about that. Okay, that's why your image reference is very important. Okay, good. So right now I can just round the bottom here, which is quite easy by you can just go over to select this edge here and this edge here and just apply a bevel again. So you can see how useful the bevel is. I'm going to give it a number of segments, increase my sensitivity here. Maybe an even number. Okay, even number will help me fix the subdivision later. Then I'm going to select this face and also apply a bevel also. Reduce the fraction. Okay, because we can see there's a very obvious bevel on our reference as well. Let's give it a little bit more. Now again, the top part right might not be visible. I'm contemplating whether I should delete away the face, but I think I'll keep it. Next, fixing the topology, because if I were to press number 3 here, this thing will fall apart like that. You got a multi-sided face on the side here like this. So I will split this into 2 because I just only want to work on one side and then mirror the other side later on. So go to edit mode, multi-cut and cut in the center, and we will delete away these group of vertices on the side, or rather these group of faces on the side, because we only need to work on a half, so we don't have to do double work. So right now we create an even number of segments, right, to create the bend. Then we should be able to fix the topology quite easily. So connect the components here, and we have to use the knife tool here. Okay, I want to hold down the shift and control key, and then it will actually cut in steps for us. Okay. Okay, so anyway, this edge is not the correct location. So I want to double click to select this edge. I'm going to use the scale tool, right, to flatten it first. Then just move it roughly like that. Same thing for this. Use the scale tool and move it down here. Now comes to this part here. I'm going to select this vertex and this vertex, connect them together. Same for this one, connect them together. Okay, now we need to just split this into 4-sided faces. Now there are a couple of ways you can do this. If I do it like in a radial fashion like this, later the subdivision appearance might be a little bit different. Let's try this one first. I'll just show you the different methods. Because this is an even number, right, we should be able to divide this into 4-sided faces. But when you are in an odd number of segments, right, then it will be very tricky. Okay, so this is one way. So if I press number 3 to subdivide this, this is the pattern that you will get. Okay, but another method is to actually cut across. Okay, but this will involve cutting across to the other side as well. Okay, since I'm already committed to this, I will just do the same thing here. Okay, so if I press number 3, we still have an issue here. The top part here is too rounded, and the bevel here is not very obvious. Okay, we need to have a supporting edge loop that runs across here. So we're going to insert one very close supporting edge loop right close to the edge here and here as well. So if I subdivide now, you can see that the bevel is a little bit clearer. However, this area here is a mess. Okay, that's why okay, there's some edge flow problem here. I think because, let me just undo that. Yeah, because of the 3-sided faces, it didn't continue all the way across. So let me see, it should be like this, yeah, and like this. I think I inserted the wrong place, yeah. So now we can see the 2 edge loops are flowing nicely here. So if I press number 3 to subdivide, now we can see the edge much better. Okay, like this, you see? This is what I want to achieve. So it's kind of similar to this. So then, once you've done this piece, right, we can apply a mesh mirror in the x-axis Is the x-axis? Yes. X-axis, and then mirror, and then apply a weld. This one should be able to weld the center together. Mirror, and then yeah, it's welded together. So now we got this central support section. And then we have this flat metal piece. Okay, this one I'll just have to use my own imagination. Okay, again, our trusty cube. The cube, right, can be converted into virtually anything. Okay, go to the front view. I'm going to extend the scale of this cube. Right, we know that it is from the reference, right, there is a sheet of metal, right, there is overlapping this and then coming down. Now I'm not going to cut this to follow the circle, right, I'm just going to create a simplified version of this. So I'll scale up the cube just a little bit more so that it overlaps. And you can see that there's a wider supporting plate over here. So I will insert one edge loop right about here and select the face here and extrude it out. Now again, I only want to do half of this, so I'm going to use my insert edge loop tool and then split this into two and delete away half of the faces like that. This supporting plate, right, is extruded out from here to support the chair. So again, looking at my reference, okay, the plate extends about until 4/6 of the width of the wheelbase. Right, so let's take a look at the front view. Switch to vertices and then we can adjust, yeah, roughly about there. Okay, this is good enough. Alright, I think at my pace, right, the video is going to be too long, so I'm going to speed up things a bit. So for some parts, right, I'm not going to subdivide, or rather I'm not going to use level 3. Okay, I can probably work on it again another day. So mesh, mirror this. Okay, now I got the base. Okay, now we want to create this mesh support for the chair, and also the armrest that sticks out from the top here. So it seems like there's another plate that is on top. I guess this is for it to slide forward and backward. So create another trusty cube. I'm going to scale that down. Okay, press Alt 5 to turn on wireframes. And let's see how wide is this. This one seems to be a little bit narrower, I think. Seems like these. Okay, I'm gonna use symmetry on already since I already merged them together. Yeah, this one should be closer in like that. Okay, so the top part, right, this is where the support for the armrest is coming out. So I'm going to split this cube on top into two. Use middle mouse click. Shift, multi-cut, middle mouse. Oh, okay. When symmetry is on, I can't. So turn it off first. Middle mouse click to split into half. Again, I'm going to use my the binary method, which is just work on the half of this. And I'm going to create the this section here. So this one I'll have to insert one edge loop here, insert maybe one section here, select this face and extrude. Okay, I'll just roughly follow the shape. It tilts up like that. Oops. Make sure you don't select the vertices on the other side. Something like this. Okay, and then there's a gap below here, which I think I'll pull out the armrest. So I'm just going to cheat here. Okay, so this is where the armrest will come out. So extrude one and then Press W to move, and then use the clone tool to extrude another piece. Then this one will be my armrest. One tilts forward slightly, and then it also scales up a little bit. Okay, then there's another piece that's attached here. We can use the quick extrude. So how wide it is? It seems like it's wider on top like that. Yeah. Then use move, extrude out another section. Then select this face here, move, quick extrude. Then it seems like there's a S, or rather there's a slight elevation here. So I'm going to push out slightly, and then quick extrude another section and push out slightly. Then finally create the top part for the armrest. Alright. So for the armrest, right, I'm probably going to build it as a separate piece. But yeah, unlike Blender, right, I can select this piece and then just model another piece out of it. Okay, so I'm gonna duplicate this using the mesh mirror again. So now I got the armrest supports. I don't have the chair yet. Maybe I'll come to the blade later on. So for this chair, right, I'm gonna create a ring that runs across. So by looking at this image reference, it starts from the bottom, right over here, the edge over here, then it runs across and then it connects. It literally forms this shape here. It starts from the bottom like that, then goes all the way around and then connects in again. So we have to basically create this extrusion out first. So back to our trusty cube again. Okay, and we'll see where it starts. Alright, it starts from the second tier here. It's literally connected to this portion here. So what I'm going to do is I will go to edit mode or component mode. I'll split this cube into half. Then select the central faces and then just delete it away. Okay, while it is in component mode, right, you want to grab all the components and then move it aside. The reason why I'm doing this is that by moving all the components, we are still keeping the center point in the center here. Okay, so I should fill up this hole here. Double click to select all the components, and we can start the extrusion right here. Okay, this one is actually kind of thin. It is about halfway embedded into the top level. So it's about halfway embedded into the top level here like this. Then we select this face, then we can start to extrude. Quick extrude one section here. Okay, we can see that it only sticks out about, actually it goes straight up like that very quickly. So I'm going to use the rotation tool, rotate a little bit, then use the move tool again and then extrude a section out like that. Use the rotation tool, switch out the move, hold down the shift and then extrude out a section like that. Then use rotation again. Make sure you rotate the correct axis. Okay, and then slowly extrude until we form a band over here. Okay, and then press move and extrude. Use scale tool to flatten this. And it ends up connecting to this, which is correct, and just extrude the section and put it down here. Continue to extrude because it extrudes all the way behind. And remember, this component, right, will carry on extrusion or extrude all the way to that point. So I'm going to go to the top view. I'm going to extrude one small section, rotate. Okay, use a scale, right, to keep the same thickness. Press move again, quick extrude, rotate. Okay, press W, then extrude like that. And then finally use the move and quick extrude until the two sides connect. Okay, let's check the shape. Okay, the shape is roughly okay. Maybe this one here needs another edge loop. Okay, we need this to be a bit rounder, like so. Alright, I think this one is good enough. So now I can mirror it, mesh, mirror, then you merge it to the other side. Now, as for the chair itself, or rather the mesh itself, right, I'll just model another face, right, that will stick all over it. Okay, now we have the spinal support. So the spinal support, right, will come out from the second portion here. So we can actually select this group of faces here and extrude it. Okay, let me just take a look at the design first. Okay, it seems to come out from this section here, so I want to grab these faces, extrude a section here, and then pull out the column. So use the quick extrude, right? You can quickly extrude the section here, and then it's tapered down also. So I'm going to scale this down like that. And use rotate it down. Then we have this giant spinal column that rises all the way to the top, and it's quite separated, it's quite independent from the sides. So again, using quick extrude, okay, I think my back chair part here, I extend it quite a lot. Okay, so this piece here, just going to push this section back a little bit, then rotate it down like that. Okay, back to the bottom part here. So make sure you select the two faces that you want to extrude. And let's see, we want to create a long curve and then just pull it up. So make sure you're selecting the correct axis, holding down the shift and slowly extrude. Move, holding down the shift and do a quick extrude. I think this quick extrude is quite useful. Okay, this one I think I can scale it up a little bit more. Use scale in one axis to flatten an object. And now this one should be wider slightly. Okay, it's going to rise up all the way to the armrest. Okay, I think my armrest is a bit too high. So maybe put it down a bit. Let me adjust my armrest. Okay, they should be much lower. And that looks about right. Okay, so now this part here is coming up to the almost the armrest level, and that's where it is split into two to form this mesh section. So I'm going to split this side into two. So again, to facilitate ease of modeling, I'm just going to delete away half of these, half of the faces. So let me just show and isolate the object. Delete away half of the faces because we don't have to worry, because we can mirror them back again. Because all I need to do is to select this face, quick extrude one section, Then quick and extrude another section and then move it aside so that I can have a split. Right, I'm going to get out of the isolate select. So let's see how does it go. One of the faces here will, wait, let me check, look carefully at it again. Actually, it makes more sense to do it this way. Let me undo this. Okay, so it makes more sense to pull this section up like that, then delete away the faces here, and select the face over here, and then quick extrude these faces instead. Yeah. Use rotate, and since this part here is tilting back a bit, okay, I'm going to grab these vertices and then tilt it back so it looks more comfortable to support the back. Just follow this angle here. Alright, this chair here, again, look at my reference. This loop, right, seems to come all the way near to the side of the armrest. So, yeah, so this one is too much already, so I just push this back a bit. This one goes up slightly. And I'm going to pull out another section. Rotate it upwards. Use the quick extrude. Holding down the shift and then pull out another section. Flatten this. Press W. Move up another section. Okay. Pull out another long section here and then scale this up. Notice, right, I don't pull from the side. I want to keep everything in a long continuous loop. Alright, gonna just use scale to flatten this. So right now I got the backrest. Okay, not exactly the nicest looking, but we can fix it by adjusting and putting more edge loops. Okay, just round this off by shifting it down. Okay, notice this edge here is a bit, this loop right here. Okay, from here to here is collapsing inwards a bit too much. Okay, yeah, now much better. Alright, so this group right needs to, this group of vertices which I've extruded out needs to tilt. So I will tilt them back like that. Okay, you can see from the side here, this supporting handle right actually loop inwards. So we can try to replicate that by grabbing only these vertices and then pushing forward like that. So we have the same, oops, one more vertex is lost. Let's try one more time. You can go to vertex mode, select the vertices that you're going to push forward, like these vertices, not this one. And then just push forward like that. Ah, still miss out one this vertex. Just manually do that. Right, so now we can have this sweep, this sweeping section. This sweeping section also seems to be much thicker. So select this edge and push it back. So how to know which is which? Again, this is all dependent on experience. I wouldn't call myself a good modeler. Okay, even though I can model, but I don't think I'm that much of a good modeler. There are much better modelers than me out there. Okay, but if you want to get good at 3D modeling, you just have to clock in the hours. There's just no shortcut, all right? Okay, the chair looks a bit unstable right now. I think the back thing part is there's too much, so I need to push it back in a little bit. Or maybe it's a bit too big already, so I'll just push this in a little bit more. Okay, so right now I'm ready to do the mirror again. So I can get rid of this face. Select this piece here, then mesh mirror, and it should join the center. So you can see that my, except for my backrest, the backrest actually quite easy to do, just attachment right that is in the center here. Again, a cube, which is the basic thing which I'll be using to create the backrest. So for this cube, I'm just gonna, do I split it into two? Let me take a look at it. Yeah, I think it's split into two better. Basically, you can see that the back rest, right, is also another strip that goes around like a, what do you call that, sausage. Actually, right, I'm going to use another method to create this shape. Okay, this one is kind of similar. Okay, I'm not going to use the cube. This is kind of similar to retopo. Okay, now if you take a look at this section here, it looks like a sort of a cylinder shape like that. So what we're going to do is that we're going to try to use a cylindrical shape, and then we're going to draw the band, right, that create this meshing around it. So I'm going to create a cylinder first to act as our drawing guide, but I'm going to turn this cylinder to the side. The default cylinder will do. This one, how many sides? 20 sides. Maybe I'll give it a bit more, 24. And then since this one is a little bit ovalish, right, I'm going to scale this ovalish like this. So the profile is oval. And then I'm going to non-uniform scale it to make it wider like that. I think uniformly I need to make it a little bit bigger. Then place it next to where the backrest is supposed to be. Now this is just going to be a guide for me to create the backrest. So I want to check that it's roughly in the same position. Okay, slightly higher, right about here. And I think can be bigger also. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to draw the band from here all the way down, or even better, can I extrude from here? No, maybe not. Okay, so this is a very neat trick. There's this thing called live surface. We can make this cylinder into a live surface, right, so that we can start to draw or create an object on the surface itself. I'm going to see whether this works. So I will click on the magnet, okay, to specify that this is a live surface. The way to activate it is this tool over here, right on top over here. Okay, this is the first time that you guys are seeing this, but this is a very powerful tool. So if I activate live surface, well, with the cylinder selected, click on the magnet. So that means, right, whatever I create, right, will stick to this surface. Okay, so I'm going to create a simple plane, okay, and then I'm going to move it to the live surface, and you can see the plane, okay, it's not sticking there yet. Or maybe I'm using this wrong.
Usually, people draw curve, ellipse curve on it.
Oh.
I'm not sure if polygons.
Okay, wait, I need to convert this into a single plane first, like that. Then if I go over to vertex, if I move my vertex, normally it should, yes, correct. See, it's now sliding on the surface. Yeah, that is what I want to achieve. Right, so let me undo that. Okay, I'm going to split this right into a very basic plane into two. All right, and you can see it go into this thing called what do you call that? Retopo mode, retopo surface mode. Okay, let me undo this because I want to keep this plane right evenly split. So I'm going to temporarily disable this. I'm going to cut the plane so that it's exactly half, like that. But actually the plane right is a bit offset already. Okay, let's do this again. I'm going to create a brand new plane. Shift right mouse click, create a brand new plane. Then move the plane up. Okay, right now the snapping is not on, so it's not sticking to anything. So I'm going to change this into a single plane object, but I'm going to split it exactly into two in the center by using the multi-cut and middle mouse button click to cut in the center. Then I will delete away half of it. Okay, now going back to object mode, I want to try to move it as close to the cylinder as possible, starting from right about here. Okay, I want to make the cylinder, make this piece right smaller, about the same size as the backrest width strap here. Okay, so now I've done this, then now I can finally activate my live surface, okay, which is now active. So as I go into edit mode, and every time I move the component, right, or transform the component, it's going to snap onto the surface. See that? It's not snapping onto this live surface, which makes it incredibly useful. So I can use my extrude tool to create another section. Now if you cannot see this properly, right, you can try to use X-ray. So you can see the section riding on top of this cylindrical shape. So holding down the shift, I can pull out a section, then use rotate this, then move it down a little bit, then holding down the shift and pull out another extrusion, then rotate this, okay, and then go back to move again and then extrude. So see, as you extrude, right, it will stick to the surface, which is really, really good. Okay. Okay, then go to move, holding down the shift and extrude, holding down the shift again and extrude, then rotate this, move and extrude. See, this one takes a lot of guesswork out from adjusting to create this shape. Like just now when I'm creating this bigger one, right, I literally am just extruding in space, in 3D space, and just hope everything will fall into place. So this tool is particularly very useful, and this is one of the better tools, right, to do retopo. Okay, I think I exceeded half of the location, so I'm going to put it back like that. So you can see I created the backrest ring structure. Let me just adjust it a little bit, make it look nicer. If you need more subdivisions, you can add a subdivision. This one needs to go a little bit lower, I think. Okay, so you can see it is sticking onto the cylinder. So if you have the opportunity to use the live surface, right, yeah, please use it. It's very good. Okay, so now I got the shape done. I can disable the live surface. Then I don't need the cylinder anymore. I can delete it away. It's done its job. Then we just apply another mirror, but there's no thickness on this, so we just double click to extrude a thickness. So now we have the framework. Then finally we can apply a mirror, mesh, and then mirror again. And I want to join these two holes together. Oh, is there a face there? Yeah, just delete away this face. Oh wait, since they are four-sided face, this bridge, yeah, done. Right. Then let's just adjust this a little bit. This looks a bit odd. Let's move it up. Alright, so yeah, you get the idea. So anyway, this one, right, if you subdivide it, right, it should look very nice, you see? Okay, so right now it's just missing the mesh. The mesh, right, we can create them out from another surface. Okay, so that's why this chair right now is not functional. And I'm missing the shoulder pads, or not shoulder pads, the armrests. Okay, so armrests, our trusty cube again. So you can see here, I can create so many different things from the cube. Let's see, the thing looks like it is tapered outwards. It looks like the shape of a feet. So just do a simple one. Just taper out like that, yeah. Bevel this, give it a couple of segments. Yeah, just do a simple shoulder rest and then apply another mirror. Then the other side should have the shoulder rest. Okay, this shoulder rest is like move a bit to the back somewhat like that, yeah. Okay, so let me just quickly create some wheels for the rest of the chair. I'm going to look for the bottom view. And then I'm going to click on the wheel. Where's the parent? I think it's this one. Okay, then hold on to shift to clone. 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 And clone. Okay, what is this thing doing here? What are these things? Why do I have a sphere here? So delete this. I don't need this sphere. You can see my chair is there's still a lot of other attachments, right, which you again using a cube, right, you can attach your attachments. Alright, so the last thing I want to show is okay, this one I'm going to do it very fast. I'm going to really cheat for this one. I'm going to use the create polygon tool. You all remember that, the create polygon tool? Shift right mouse click, create polygon tool. Just going to wrap around here, draw this right across like that, following the curve like this, and then finish. Alright, and extrude the face to create the cover. Delete away the face. Right, and then delete away this face. Then apply a mirror. Mirror. Can I mirror this? No, in object mode. Okay, mirror. Okay, so now we got a cover. Then for the mesh on the side, same thing here. Just going to use the create polygon tool. Then click, 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 click. Just draw the shape out until it goes over to the other side. Press enter. Same thing again. Select the face that you just created and then just extrude. This one we can extrude a few times because we need it to conform. Okay, and then extrude another section to conform it to the shape. Then scale this down slightly. Okay, this one is just a very rough one now. Oh. Right. Another way is to select the outline and then create a mesh, but it will not look nice. Okay, I'm going to select the side face here, delete. I select this face here, delete. Select the bottom face here, delete. Then we got our mesh. Okay, it's not perfect, but we have to manually go and pull out the mesh, right, so that it sticks to the rim of the... Okay, I'm just doing this very roughly. Okay, Okay, so yeah, you literally are manually stretching the faces so that it covers the framework. So I've used our mesh mirror. So now we got the backrest. Okay, not particularly very comfortable looking, so I'm just going to use soft selection and push this back. Okay, if you all remember soft selection, we can use soft selection to sculpt the mesh. Okay, for this particular shape also, I don't need the bottom faces. I'm going to go over to isolate select. Okay, I need to go to object mode. Doesn't like that. So object mode, select this, isolate select, and delete away this bottom face. We don't need this one. Yeah, we only need the top part. We'll probably need more subdivisions here to give it a much softer feel. Or you can just press number 3, right? Then you immediately get a nice stretched look for this. I'm going to try with this one. Yep. And then finally for this top part here. Okay, use the create polygon. Notice I always zoom out because I ended up keep on selecting this, so I cannot use the create polygon too. That's why I had to zoom out. Okay, so this one will start from here, here, here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right about here. Then press enter to finish. So I got the cross section of this created. Then holding down to shift and then do a quick extrude. Okay, you can see that it is black. Okay, not a problem. We can select the object and then do a reverse display, reverse mesh display to reverse, and we can clean up the faces here. Okay, is there a face here? Yes. Delete this face also. We also don't need the back face here. And you can press number 3 to subdivide this, see what it looks like. Then mesh and mirror. So this is the life of a 3D modeler. Okay, I need to apply symmetry so that the other side, right, will follow. Okay, yep. And manually stretch our skin, right, or rather the mesh to match the shape. Okay, so we got our chair. Then I think to give it the mesh look right, maybe we can apply a special material for this one. Material attributes. I'm just going to assign the new material, but I'm not going to assign the, what do you call it, the Arnold material. I'm just going to use a Lambert material first. Okay, this is not the final material. I'm just going to call this a mesh material. Not really a mesh, I just want to make it look transparent so it looks like a chair. So this one you can actually change the transparency, right, by adjusting the transparency. So since the chair we model is a gray chair, no, let's make it the pink chair. Okay, and then give it a transparency. All right, then we can assign it to this one. Assign existing material, mesh material, then assign existing material, mesh material. All right, so you can see my knockoff chair is actually, I'm still missing one more part, that is the headrest. But anyway, I think I want to stop here because I think the video is too long already. But anyway, I've covered most of the modeling techniques, right, to model this chair. There's still a lot of parts, right, that you notice. Okay, actually proportion wise, I think I managed to hit most of the target. Okay, shape wise, maybe the bottom part, right, should be narrower a bit because the top part is tapering outwards. But all in all, right, I think I managed to accomplish quite a lot within this period of time. So right now I'm trying to move everything up together. So sometimes when you try to select all and move like this, because of parenting, right, you get this issue. So to avoid that, right, we can temporarily group everything together. So Maya has a very good grouping tool called group, edit group. Shortcut key is Ctrl G. So once you group it already, you can just select the group in the outliner, and then you can move all of them conveniently. So I'm going to move this chair until it sits on the ground level. Okay, so now I'm not only a modeler, but I'm also an amateur furniture designer. So you can see the potential that you can, the kind of skills that you can apply, right, if you learn 3D modeling. All right, so okay, remember the remaining parts, the last remaining parts, right, I did not model them with subdivision modeling. This chair is far from complete, huh? So you still have to go and do a lot of adjustments. So I press number 3 to go to level 3, right, and then actually the rest actually looks pretty good. Maybe for the bottom framework, I'm not going to touch it. See, when I press number 3, for this continuous loop like that, it actually looks not too bad. Okay. Okay, headrest. I don't think I want to do this anymore. Okay, so I will stop the video now.